Hi everyone. Today I would like to talk about what to write on a blog and where to put it if you start a blog for your website, which I really think that you should, or even for your Etsy shop if you don't have a website, if you just sell on Etsy or you sell on a different platform. Having a blog is, I think, critical, important, necessary, whatever you want to say. But I don't think that this is something that you can ignore anymore. And it's not hard to set up a blog. There are free blogging services that you can use if you have a separate website that doesn't have a blog attached. You don't have to pay for hosting and that kind of thing. You can just set it up on Blogger, and that's fine. The reason that you would want to keep it on your website, if you have, like, let's say you have Shopify and they have a blog function on there, keep it on there because that does help Google find more keywords for your site, and then your site might be found better in search. But there's no reason that you have to have it attached to your site. And some people do, some people don't. These are decisions that you have to make for yourself. And this is the kind of thing that we talk about in my monthly membership, so you can go join that if you want to. But the easiest way to do this, if you have an Etsy shop and you can't integrate a blog on your website like that goes with your shop, just start a Blogger blog. And Blogger is a service that is owned by Google. People mock it. But guess what? It's owned by Google. And I had a blog on Blogger for a long time, and it was found. I was indexed in Google. People found my articles. They went there, and it was fine. There's absolutely no reason why you can't do that. So just find a place to write and start writing. And the question that will come up, however, is people say, what am I supposed to write about? I don't even know what to write about. Well, this is the one time that I will tell you to use ChatGPT. Okay, I'm not a big fan of AI because I know it steals text. It just aggregates things. But ideas are a really good thing that it will do because it just goes and takes ideas from everyone. It's taking things. But anyway, my personal feelings aside, it's good for giving you ideas. So I thought of some topic. Let's say that I sell dog bandanas. Okay, so you might say, what the heck am I supposed to write about if I sell dog bandanas? What am I supposed to do? There's no articles I can write about dog bandanas. That's ridiculous. Well, guess what? I went to ChatGPT and I put in, give me 50 article ideas about dog bandanas, and it actually did. It gave me 50 ideas. Every single one of these articles could be something that you use to actually send people to your products. You could write an article about any single one of these, and you can ignore the tutorials if you don't want to sell patterns, if you don't want to do that kind of thing, because that's going to attract a different audience than people who want to buy them. There's going to be people that make them, that kind of stuff. But if you just want to use the 40 article ideas that are not, the tutorial ones, that's still 40 articles. That's almost an entire year. If you use the 50, that is pretty much an entire year, one a week. And by writing these articles, you can then link to your products through these articles. And so if you're on Pinterest and you're pinning to a blog article, that's less, like I said in my previous video, I did a video about why you need a blog for your e-commerce website, but it's less threatening for people. So they're going to come from Pinterest, they're going to go to your article, and it's an article, not a buy my stuff. So they're reading the article, and in that article, you have pictures of your products, you have links that go to the products themselves, and it gives people an opportunity to kind of warm up to the idea of buying something from you and learning who you are. And it does give you an authority that just saying, here's my stuff, buy it, does not. So people will get to know you, they'll get to trust you, and having links to the articles will help you get more traffic to your e-commerce website. Now on ChatGPT, it says, do you want me to make the rest of the article for you? Okay, I would not have any AI write your entire article and then just put it on your website. There are things going on right now with Google and with outside search engines and with ad agencies that indicate that people are kind of starting to strike back against fully AI written articles. If you want the AI to make you an outline, then that would be good. So let's say I'm going to do how to clean and care for your dog's bandana collection. So I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and I'm saying, here's the title. Please make me an outline for an article about this. Because you might look at that title and go, oh, what am I supposed to write? So now you have an outline. Okay, so this is like you're back in high school and you've made an outline to write a paper. Now you have this, and there you go. And so now you don't even have to think about it. This is going to have everything because it's going all over the internet and taking things from articles. So it knows what most articles have in them. And if things are in here and it doesn't make sense, you don't need to add that to it. But just use this as a basic outline that will give you ideas about what you should include in an article, and that will help. That will be helpful, and you don't have to think about it too hard. Now, as far as writing the article, this is where everybody's like, oh my God, I can't write. You can talk. You don't have to write. The way that I write a lot of articles, if I don't feel like typing, I'm a very bad typist. I type very quickly, but very inaccurately, so I have to go back and change a lot. So there will be editing regardless of what you do. So go to, I think Microsoft Edge has this, Word has this, any program that has a voice-to-text recorder. Okay, so take the outline and just talk the article out. And you are going to have to go back and edit it, but that's okay. You're going to have to do that regardless of what method you use. There will be editing involved. But if you go and talk the article out using the outline that you have, it will take 10 minutes to write this to quote unquote write this article. You're then going to have to go back in and add photos. You're going to have to add, like the editing, that kind of thing. But it's not that hard to write an article. And the voice to text is a really easy method to do it quickly. Now, the articles that I would start with would be the ones that questions that customers ask you all the time. For me, it was things like, do edible butterflies melt? Are these butterflies going to melt? Can I put them in the refrigerator? So I have articles on my website about whether you can put wafer paper in the refrigerator. I have articles on my website about how to decorate specific kind of cakes, because people would ask me about that. But if you start with the questions that people ask you all the time, then that, number one, it puts everything in one place, so you can just direct people to the article when they ask you that question. They can go and read it at their leisure, and it prevents you from having to respond to the same question 90 times a day. But it also, if one person's asking you that question, or if 3 people or 4 people, and you get the same questions over and over, then there are probably a lot of people also typing that into search engines. So if you have an article on a website that is something that people ask search engines a lot, you might actually show up in search results, and then you can get traffic from there who, there's people that might not even know that you exist, but they'll find you through a search engine. So start with the common questions that people ask you, put those on your website blog first, and then you can go from there. Then you go to ChatGPT and ask for the weird stuff. Okay, how often should you post a blog post? I would say that at first you want to front load that blog and get as many articles as you can up as soon as you can. Because that way when people come to your blog, they're not just faced with 1 article or 2 articles. So I would go ahead and just write an article a day and do the method that I said, voice to text, get a list from ChatGPT, start with the questions that people ask you all the time, and just get an article up 1 a day for a month. When you have 30, then you can start pinning, you can start sending people to your website, and that way they'll have more than one thing to read. It also will get you into search engines a little bit faster if you have multiple things going up at once. And there is a whole thing with Google Search Console where you can submit the URLs. That's a whole different story. But you might not get that much search engine traffic to begin with, because they want to test websites out. And it's really hard these days to get a lot of search traffic at the beginning, if ever, right? But it will give you a place to send people when they ask questions. And it also gives you a lot of places to put links to your products on your website. So get all that done, and then you can start sending your own traffic from Pinterest or Benable or your other social media, whatever you want to do. Now, I mentioned where you should put your blog. Okay, so if you have a site, if you have an e-commerce website that allows you to embed a blog in there, and you don't intend to keep that blog going, if you shut your business down tomorrow, would you want to keep writing for that blog? If the answer is no, then just leave it on the e-commerce website if they let you do that. Because like I said at the beginning, that's going to kind of bring more traffic from social media and from search engines. But if it's a topic that you really enjoy and you think maybe I would like to have a website about this, even if I wasn't selling this thing, then have it hosted on Blogger or have it hosted on WordPress if you want to get a little fancier and actually have a separate website. But don't keep it necessarily on the same platform that your e-commerce shop is on, because if you close that down, then you're basically closing the website down too. You're closing the blog part of it. So if you have it separate, then you can keep working on that blog. And I say blog, but it's really a website. So you can keep working on it even if you're not selling that product. Okay, give this video a thumbs up. I hope that was a little helpful. If you have questions, post them. And if you want to get into this deeper, join my monthly membership. I'll put the link in the description. And we do talk about blogging. I have more stuff about blogging in there. All right, I hope that was helpful. I will talk to you later.